Hi there, I'm Akash and you're watching Tic Tac Tech. Now there are lots of people on the internet who are telling you what are good smartphones and what are bad ones. But there is no one telling you what is the best smartphone for your needs and your budget. And that's exactly what we do on this show, which is our monthly smartphone guide for the month of February 2015. Now if you're looking for a high-end smartphone that costs about 35,000 or 30,000, you're in the right video. If you're looking for something a little cheaper, maybe a budget phone, you'll find that video here. A mid-range or a semi-premium phone, you'll find those videos linked here in those specific price brackets. So I'm going to go straight ahead and start talking about the best phones according to me in the month of February 2015 in the high-end segment. So my first pick is going to be a very practical choice. It's I think the best phone you can buy right now for your money. It is the Sony Xperia Z3. Now why do I like this phone so much? I'll give you the pros. First off, it actually feels like a premium phone. Now there are lots of phones that cost about 50k, 60k, but they don't feel that great. They feel, like any other phone. They feel like a 40k or 30k or 10k phone, which is not okay according to me. So this phone here, the Xperia Z3, feels like a premium phone. It's beautifully designed, it looks great, it feels great, and it's got wonderful build qualities. So that is what I like about it. The next thing is it's got high-end processing. It's got a Snapdragon 801 chip, and it's got a nice 20 megapixel camera on the back, and it has water and dust proofing all in this package. And the last thing is it's got amazing battery life. It's one of the most efficient high-end smartphones as far as battery life is concerned. So with this phone you can expect to get at least 1.5 days with no effort on normal usage. If you're a light user, you can maybe even go ahead and get 2 days of usage using some of the battery saving features, but on a normal thing you can easily get about 1.5 days of battery life on this phone. So I'm of the opinion that when you pay so much money, half a lakh-ish or less, around that amount for a phone, you should get at least 1.5 days of battery life, and this phone delivers on that. You won't see yourself constantly running to the charging port to charge your phone. So I'll just give you a recap on that. It's got a waterproof and dustproof body, it's got high-end internals, good camera, it's got a beautiful design, it's also got all-day battery life. So this is my most practical option. And as far as software is concerned, I like how Sony doesn't put in too much of junk. They put a little bit of junk. They do. They're a manufacturer. It's how they are. But they put in very little junk, and it's a very almost stock Android usage. It looks very good, it's very elegant, and it's very fast, very efficient home screen and launcher setup they've got. So this is my top recommendation for you guys in this price segment. It's a very premium phone, it's worth that money, and it's a very practical phone as well, and it'll definitely win you a lot of attention and some compliments. That's the Xperia Z3. If you want this small phone in a smaller package, maybe a 4.6 display inch package that's more holdable, that is the Xperia Z3 Compact, which has similar specs but is also a very, very awesome smartphone. So those are our top recommendations, and you can get the Xperia Z3 Compact for about 44,000 right now, which is amazing, considering that a lot of the other smartphones cost much more. Up next, if you want the smartphone with these two things, the best specs that the market can give you, and apart from that, the latest and greatest version of Android, then you should get the Nexus 6. Now this smartphone here has amazing specs. It's got a beautiful Quad HD display, which is the latest and greatest standard right now, a Quad HD display. And it's got a Snapdragon 805 chip, which is the best you can currently get in the market. And there's also a lot of other nice stuff in there. And what it's very, very famous for is that it's got a design that is basically similar to the Moto X second generation, but a bigger version of that. So it's a very solid design. It's an aluminum body. It feels very premium, and it's a very sturdy phone. It's like a very, very strong phone. So Motorola's put in a lot of effort there. The Nexus 6. It's an amazing smartphone. Apart from this, this is the first phone in the world to have Android Lollipop or Android L 5.0, which is amazing news. So this is for the Android enthusiast. If you like the latest and greatest of everything, the latest specs and latest software, you should buy this phone. Also, it's got stock Android, so there's no junk on it. Everything is as Google envisioned it as far as Android is concerned. So this phone was built to run Android Lollipop, and it does an amazing job with that. What I like about it is it's got a very high-end camera. It's got instant shutter, which is something you see in very few phones despite paying so much. Another phone that has instant shutter is the iPhone 5S and the iPhone 6, which are amazing smartphone cameras. So this phone has instant shutters, it has a great camera that takes good pictures. It's got very good processing, very good design, and apart from this, it gives you about 1.5 days of battery life. I think a power user would get 1 day, and a light or medium user would get per 1.5 days. But 1 is a very definite guarantee, and that is a very big deal because it's got a Quad HD display, which is quite a battery drainer. So overall, this is the phone for people who want the latest and greatest of everything. It's got that. It is not as practical as the Xperia Z3 Compact, which I spoke about previously, because this phone has a 6-inch display, which is very huge. It's going to be a handful. It's going to be a little hard to hold for a lot of people. It's a very huge phone. But if you want to, but it's going to look beautiful, because that 6-inch display is going to show off Android beautifully. It's going to look gorgeous, and it's going to get you a lot of attention. So this is where you decide. If you want a more practical phone that has more battery life, fits in your hand better, get the Xperia Z3 Compact. But if you want the latest Quad HD display and you want it on a big 6-inch format, you should go ahead and buy the Nexus 6, and you should enjoy its Android lollipop. So these are my two options here. The third thing I'm going to recommend is quite obviously the iPhones that have come out, the new iPhones that came out at the end of last year, the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6 Plus. Now, why have I given these phones third place? Now, they are in no way bad phones. They're amazing smartphones. Apple has done an amazing job in optimizing these phones with iOS 8 and giving you a gorgeous and wonderful and very smooth software experience. They're great phones, but I feel that they don't give you enough bang for the buck. For instance, if I wanted to buy the high-end version of the Nexus, which is 64 GB, the Nexus 6 64 GB, I have to pay something like about 48,000 rupees, around that amount. But if I want the same thing from the 64 GB and the iPhone 6, I'm going to have to pay about 60,000 rupees. The difference is huge, and I feel that these phones don't offer enough bang for the buck. But don't get me wrong, if you can afford, you should just totally go ahead and buy that. They're great phones. Again, it comes down to your preference between Android and iOS. Which one do you like more? Do you like the freedom that Android offers, or do you like the more slightly posh experience that iPhone users enjoy? So it comes down to that. And like I've said before, I really think that the iPhone 6 cameras are some of the most amazing cameras that we have seen so far. They have instant shutter, they're very practical. Even though they have only 8 megapixel sensors, they do a very good job with pictures for sharing on social media, and they're quite amazing. They're really very practical smartphone cameras that make a lot of sense and do a very good job with photo and video. And the software experience is great. It's blazing fast thanks to all that new processing that they've put in there, their new A8 chip, and a lot of the other things. So my simple point is this: if you can afford it, that kind of money, about 60,000 rupees for a phone, totally go ahead and buy the iPhone 6 or the iPhone 6 Plus, depending on what you want, because they are premium built, they feel very good, they have a lot of nice features, especially if you own other Apple products like a MacBook or an iPad, so you have very good connectivity. For example, if you're reading an article here on the iPhone 6 and you want to read it on your computer next, you just turn it off, and when you open your computer up, that article will be displayed right there if you enable that feature. So there are lots of awesome advantages in the Apple ecosystem if you can afford it. But then again, it depends on what you want. It's a matter of choice. I'm going to do a quick recap of that. If you want a very practical smartphone that gets you great battery life, looks amazing, has waterproof body and great specs, go for the Xperia Z3 and the Xperia Z3 Compact, amazing smartphones. If you want the latest and greatest in the Android world with a Quad HD display and some of the latest specs and Android L, get the Nexus 6. It's a little big, it's not that practical unless you really like Android that much, because it's a 6-inch display. And third is the iPhones, which have a very premium experience and usage and feel. They're amazing smartphones, but they cost a bomb. Also, you should know that the iPhones don't offer such great battery life. They will get you maybe till about 7 or 8 in the evening, a full day's use at max, but they're not known for their battery life. Because I don't like how Apple has made the iPhones even thinner. When you make something even thinner, the batteries get even smaller, and you have smaller capacity batteries in there. I totally trade off a little bulkier phone for better battery, as would you, because you don't want your phone going down at about 5 or 6 or 7 in the evening. It's not nice because you're still at work. So these are our recommendations in these price segments. The most practical phone, according to me, that gives you 1.5 days of battery life is the Xperia Z3 Compact. The Nexus 6 is much flashier, and the iPhone 6 is very premium. So it's up to you to choose which one you want. These are my recommendations. If you want cheaper phones at maybe below 7,000 or 8 to 15 or 18 to 30, you'll find those listed as well. I do suggest you also consider the OnePlus One and the Xiaomi Mi 4. They're also amazing smartphones. They're not in this price bracket, they're much cheaper, but they offer enough value and they can aptly compete with any of these phones over here. They're also great smartphones. So these are our recommendations. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.